you'll be able to see that like four big segments, right? There's a strategy, process, talent, data, and technology. These are the different verticals that all have to get aligned for a project to go from a POC to a scaled production. So I don't know, so it could be just an idea somebody had, right? But to be able to make that a standardized process, do we have the right talent internally? Are the folks actually trained to be able to use this? Is our data clean as we go across multiple teams? Can we make sure we're not putting any data in there that we should not be able to? There's some data privacy issues that need to be taken. The data foundation needs to happen. Again, on top of all of this, we need to have a clear strategy and a use case portfolio as a company. So, like, so many things have to fall into place for this to happen. So, have you come across this, Balaji?
Yeah, I just looked at this one when you sent this PDF along this week, and it's interesting. To me, the visualization looks like much like a train where the technology is the engine pulling the rest of the carriages, and everybody's onboarding, right? So I think eventually it'll be full and it'll be full throttle. But right now, even technology that has a lot of missing pieces in the puzzle, right? So I think they're leading the charge, but I think all the other units out, the bubbles outlined here, they have to come on board to make it all successful. So it totally makes sense. If I scan from right to left, it looks like a train ready to move. Like don't miss the train, right?
That is true, but I think something that they said is the fundamentals might look similar to prior digital transformation effort. So, because of the unique nature of generative AI, things like robust governance, transparency, transforming talent, all of these become important. So, let's go to the next slide, which talks about, in general, where are different companies in these bubbles of whether it's technology, data, strategy, risk, and talent. And this one was, I won't say fully surprised by it, but it's good to see that most companies, I think, can deal with the technology infrastructure a lot easier just because it's a little bit more black and white, right? What do you need to set this up? Whether it's a cloud, prem, whatever, right? So you've done this before, you've done cloud-based architecture. Now you're going to do something similar to that for AI. Then the data management is technology is 45, data management is 40, strategy is 37, risk and governance 23, and talent is 20. So the last two is a bigger opportunity that I see. These are some of the barriers, right? So if you want to focus on two area to explore would be risk and governance and compliance, and data and governance. So those are some of the things. And of course, a talent, either the homegrown talent or bringing talent to know how to use these products would be great. So to me, I think that's where like companies like Deloitte and McKinsey can help, is in the third bucket of strategy. They'll say, well, we provide you the strategy. We can help you with some of the data management. And of course, we'll bring our own talent. So I see it's also a little bit of self-serving when you look at it. But again, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that this is what they saw from the data. And it's a great slide to show. As an entrepreneur, if I'm looking at it, what I would say is, okay, I see opportunity anywhere from somebody who can help train the talent where the company might not have it. Can you provide service to train them? Can you help with the strategy? Can you help with the data management of a company? Infrastructure, most big companies have a team to do that, but there's so much opportunities I see from looking out from outside in that these companies need to, to continue moving along the maturity of AI. And we just saw that most 70% are willing to spend more money in the next few years. So I just feel there's a lot of good opportunity here.
100%, Rajni. I totally agree with you. And I think I circle back to the first place where we started. It's like search and ask. So I think the key is helping folks ask the right question, right? Because with the right question comes the right answer. Now, because with the technology that's brand new and with a lot of these variations and other things, this time the problem is this asking the right question. I mean, yes, you can ask a question, you'll get an answer. But what's the right question? And every industry and every company knows what's best for them, and to help them get through the process of asking the right question to get systems built the way they want it is a major opportunity.
Perfect. Let's move on to the next one, please. This is a Definitely, I chart. There's a lot of information, but I want to take a minute to at least review this. So these are just the key findings around how different industries are approaching generative AI, whether it's consumer, energy, financial, health, telecom, or public services. And you can see the weighted average and where are they really spending their time and talent, right? So I just want to take, because you're familiar with telecom, let's just look at it. So the organizations are basically rating their expertise are high or very high. Are they increasing investment? Are they scaling progress? Are they how ready are they with risk and governance and data challenges and actions to measure? So how they're tracking ROI. So if you look at it across the board, it looks like telecom has like the most better than average, which makes sense because telecom is very high technology, media, and telecom. So technology companies, I would think, are better equipped to handle all of these different levers that we're looking at. And if you look at government, most interesting thing I see is there 90% of them are increasing investments in AI projects. Financial services, 70% of them are increasing investment. So to me, again, we are all entrepreneurs looking at it, right? So what you see here is, oh my God, financial services, government services, if you have some background in it and you have some project ideas or you have a tool that supports it, it is a great market to tap into right now as people are continuing to invest money in it. So what do you see here, Balaji?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a very good bubble chart where quickly attracts, like you said, the points where who's spending the most, right? Is it the
Mhm.
technology, media, telecom? Is it government, public services, financial services? These pop out. But I also think government is probably more invested in it because they have so much paperwork or so much digitized information that they are trying to make it much more efficient for the taxpayer dollars, right? I think that's a good way to look at it. Hopefully, they achieve that, but that's probably where the focus is, right? There's so much inefficiencies, probably as the word goes, like in government services, right? So hopefully, it all becomes streamlined. Um, the telecom itself, Rajni, I think personally, there are a few areas that can completely benefit. There's always with telecoms, just like insurance and other places, the billing systems are fairly complicated. So with AI, I think trying to spot where the leaks are happening or how things are not getting billed, there's always revenue leaks everywhere in the telecom setup. So I think AI can definitely come in. And as well as there's a lot of opportunities coming in through the customer support through the telecom, right? The call flow. Think of this one piece that everybody uses, which is a custom call flow. Banking has their own call flow. Every business has their own call flow. Now that if you AI enable, make it efficient, everybody can have their own call flow, right? It's no longer you have to design your call tree, take 3 months to test it out, and if user does that, what happens there? All these things can be completely revamped. So it makes sense if a telecom wants to invest in some of this because I think it changes the way people consume.
So to me, right, on top of, okay, we know which industries are investing the most money. So let's just go to the next level, right? So if you look at government, they're investing way more than the average, but look at their expertise. This is a self-assessment, right? They feel only 17% of them are ready from a knowledge perspective, they're rating themselves high or very high, which means there's a big gap. And then if you look
That
at the
makes,
data
yeah.
challenge, yeah, the data challenge is 51% of them have data challenges. So both sides, if you can bring in expertise, managing the data and bring in strategies and something, I think that's a great need for people in the government services for something like that. So if you're an entrepreneur, that if you provide that, then I would definitely turn my focus to government. And if you look at financial services, they're saying, okay, 40% of it's still not very high, but it's in line with most of the other organizations, 40%. But they also have a high data challenge. And the healthcare space is below average as they self identifying as a low expertise. I shouldn't say low expertise, don't have a very high expertise. And they also have some data challenges. So if I'm just looking at it as from I'm an AI entrepreneur in the space, there's a good way to identify opportunities. If you say, hey, where do I go? There's so many use cases. This is one framework for you to look at to see, depending on what services your products you provide, where do I turn my focus? So that's the way I'm looking at it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting if you go after the smaller bubbles, like you said. Risk and governance, look at that across the board. It's probably the smallest.
Smallest,
American.
yes.
Right? Yeah, some businesses want to play fast and furious, some want to be very methodical, thoughtful, but I think there is opportunity everywhere. That's why it's a new wave, new cycle, right? Everybody wants to participate and take clues from this kind of a chart. Fascinating.
I agree. This is very fascinating, and I know we could talk about this on the other reports for hours. So, but I think it's a great place to wrap up. And again, thanks for tuning in, team. And what we are going to be doing is looking at some more reports, and we are experimenting with our own product that's in stealth mode now. But we will announce more about it as we the next few weeks. So I'm looking forward to sharing more about it and talking to you guys about. We are absolutely thrilled about how far our biology's expertise has got us. So it's going to be amazing. So I can't wait to talk to you guys about it.
Awesome, Rajni. Can't wait.
All right. See you next time.
Thanks, everyone.